Welcome to this week's Coach's Corner. It is game week for the Ponca City Wildcat football team, and during the next 10 weeks we'll have Coach Allen on each week to talk about how the Wildcats are progressing as Ponca City gets set for a Friday game against Enid. Coach, we sit recording our program. We're just a couple of days away. I mean, it's here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's game week, man. I've been on edge all week, and so that's why I hope our guys have been. It's time to get ready.
Normally, Enid is a middle of the schedule big district game. Things have changed a little bit. It's our opening game this year, but I still have that big game feeling when you play Enid.
Oh, absolutely. That hadn't changed one bit. So, it's our guys are excited to be a part of this game with Enid. It is a big game as far as the kind of past rivalries in all sports, and we feel it right now. This rivalry has a little more nastiness to it than most other just typical games. I'll say this, going into next week, into this week, some of the extra butterflies you feel just, probably won't have just because it's not, Guthrie's not a rival. Mm-hmm. Enid is. So there is a little extra amount of, nerves to it. Because you really do want to win this one, not only because it's first game to get the season started, but because it is that kind of rivalry feel.
The players maybe not so much, but the coaches, I'm sure, have that feeling that this game, although it's game one, although it's a non-district game, it could be a season setter, if you will.
Absolutely. Now listen, you want to be careful not throwing all your eggs in one basket because you don't want to deflate the guys. We still would have 9 other games to play, and no, this is important. Exactly what you said. There's no doubt it's important that it'll get the season, I think, off to a very, very needed good start. It could be a season setter in the fact that it could set outcomes in. Psychologically and what type of season we have.
Well, you and I have both seen that sometimes teams get off to good starts and it carries over throughout the whole season. Sometimes you lose an early game but your team, you've got a lot of seniors. You've got a lot of kids that played last year. I kind of have a feeling that this team is maybe a little more mature maybe than your previous team. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're more mature in every facet of the psychological part of it. This team approaches practices in a good way every day. I mean, consistently. They're not goofing around, and our focus level is so much better. And I really do have a good feeling that we'll be ready to go Friday, just in our mental approach.
It's kind of the put your hard hat on, yes. get your lunchbox, and go to work. And it should also be noted that with Stillwater not on the schedule this year on the regular season, that really the Enid and Bartlesville games become 2 rival games that you don't want to miss. Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, we're well into the season now, 3.5 weeks. Scrimmage is over with. Practices are now focusing on the Plainsmen for this week. How do you feel about this ball club?
Good. I feel good about our ball club. Like I said, you've already touched on the mental state. I really do feel we are better than any of the 2 years on that part, as far as I think how our guys will approach games and preparing themselves and really take it to the really take it serious. And not like the other teams didn't, but I just feel like this team will do all those things a little better. We're healthy right now on the most part. We're healthy. There's a little concern on the O-line, but nothing that we can't work through. Our guys, both sides of the ball, we know our plays better than ever before at this time. I would consider we had our, honestly, I would have considered us having a practice that was just okay yesterday, or down practice. And honestly, when you're watching film, there wasn't a lot of mental mistakes. It's just funny how even when we think we have a bad practice, we're still doing things better. So, that's one aspect I feel like that's going to give us a chance each and every week, is just that I think we're a smarter football team. And so to answer your question, I feel that's what I feel like our guys are. We're a smarter football team. I think we're more talented in some areas. I think our linebacking core is very talented, and and our defensive line will do well. And I think we're plenty deep at wide receiver, and I like our quarterback and our backfield situation. Our O-line, like I said, we got some O-line. Our O-line is solid, and so we got a good chance in every ball game, including this one. So that's what I feel about the 2014 team is we're going to have chances in a lot of games this year, and depth still an issue. We haven't escaped that, but we'll do our best, stay healthy, and compete every week.
Yeah, it's the same old thing. The teams that stay healthy are the teams that probably are going to have a chance to fight their way into these playoffs.
Sure.
And I know that we've had our share of injuries, but going into this season, with the exception of a boy or two, everybody's feeling pretty good about that scenario. That being said, we're pretty solid at most of our positions. There's not a whole lot of question marks. I guess just the usual: who's going to back up, who would come into a game, and maybe if you have to use a few sophomores, their first experience. Regular first game questions.
Yes, well, we have those questions. Now, I'll say this: I say depth. We've prepared. I think our coaching staff's done a great job in preparing. We have a true 2 deep. Don't let me say that. We got people coming in. If someone gets hurt, we got. And you're right. A few of them are sophomores, but they're well-performing sophomores. There's been some eye openers. Mitchell Neeson, Michael Rowland, Clayton Coomer on the defensive line. They've opened eyes up, and there's a couple of those guys are going to see some reps on Friday night, and we'll do a good job. So that's been a pleasant surprise. Brant Scott, Austin Bradley on the offensive line. You'll see those guys possibly. So we're fine on depth. Austin Fry, Braden Presnall will take our fullback duties and back up some linebacker duties. So we've done a good job of giving ourselves a 2 deep with the best guys that we got.
You like our quarterback situation, and it's an interesting one. Connor Larson has been the main signal caller through the preseason and the scrimmages. Michael Mongold threw for over 1,000 yards last year, so he obviously is a talented player. Then you got some other players behind him as well. But you feel like as a whole, Larson can get the job done, and if something happens, you've got other guys that can step in there.
QB positions is very solid for us. I have no problem either playing Connor Larson or Michael Mongold. Connor's going to get the start, and Connor's been doing great. So I'm excited actually to see how Connor's going to play this Friday. But yeah, if we had to put Michael in there for whatever circumstance, we would be just as fine with Michael. So
absolutely, and we might mention that Michael Mongold will be on the field a lot for the Wildcats.
Yeah, he's going to be playing safety, wide receiver, and then like I said, possibly even quarterback.
Well, the Plainsmen, Coach, what kind of team do they have coming back this season?
They're big. They got some big old linemen. Offensive line is very big. Literally, they have some large guys up there. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not something that we can't handle or anything like that. But that's just they are big up front. Quarterbacks returning. They got a quarterback that obviously started every game last year for him, and even got playing time as a sophomore. So that whenever you're playing like we did all last year, we won't actually. Thank goodness we won't encounter that too many times this season. But this is one of the times we will encounter that. A very experienced quarterback, so they will have a signal caller that's been back there a few times. Running backs, skill guys. Enid's they have always had solid running backs and receivers and stuff. In some ways they may be just a tad faster, but not by much. So we'll be okay in every department in that area. Obviously I think they're defense. Is maybe a tad behind their offense as far as I think their offense is going to, it's going to be probably the more dynamic part of their team as of right now. But not by much. So they've got a formidable challenge. I'll say this in any of our scrimmage. Well, the first scrimmage we saw some good teams, but Enid's better than what we saw last week. So and I've told our guys that, and they're a team that took it to us and really blew us out by halftime last year. So we're gonna have to play our A game and be ready to go.
Now, we've talked about how the players have mentally and physically prepared. I think the fans have mentally and physically prepared too, Coach. You hear a lot of talk around town about the Wildcats. There's excitement, and this is one of those drives that's not very far. So, these players, if they believe in themselves, it sure would help to have a big crowd on Friday night.
Man, come out and watch. I think it's going to be an outstanding environment. It's first game of the year anyway, so there'll be a big Enid crowd there. And then if let's bring a bunch of Ponca City guys down 412 too, and let's pack our side of the stadium, and it'll be an entertaining game. Our guys are ready to go. When I appreciate the We Believe campaign that the Ford started has been outstanding, and our guys have really caught on to it, just like the rest of the community. And come out and watch, because it's gonna be an entertaining night.
Absolutely. Friday night, the Wildcats at Bruce Selby Stadium in Enid to take on the Plainsmen, 7 o'clock kickoff, and we hope that you'll make your way down there. Next week, the coach and I will talk about the Enid game and look forward to the Guthrie Blue Jays. For Coach Allen, I'm Phil Turney. Have a good day.